welcome to Super Dwarf Sunday for May 7th, 2023. What we're going to do this week is we're going to get TC out of his enclosure. We're going to weigh him and we're going to move him to an activity tent for him to play in. Actually, it's just a good space for him to move around in and to exercise in and explore some novel items while we are out feeding horses. And then I have some random video footage from the previous month of TC and Ryder, so you'll get to see that. Let's go get TC.
Yeah, so here's where I run into some issues with my planned evening. I turned TC's light on so that you guys could see what I was doing, but it is nighttime, it's dark, he was awake. He was there on the left upper part of his enclosure, and he seemed like he wanted out. So I unlocked his enclosure. I offer him an arm to come out onto. He comes out onto my hand and arm, and then he just doesn't come out of his enclosure. And I'm talking to my husband, and I end up finally just telling my husband, well, if he isn't going to come out, then I'm just going to leave him here until we are ready to go outside and feed horses. And if he hasn't come out by then, I'm going to close his doors. What I really think TC wanted was for me to leave so that he could go where he wanted, because I have not been letting him free roam when I'm not present. And when I go out to feed the horses, I've been putting him away in an exercise pen, and I think he doesn't like that. So I came back later and checked on him. I ended up turning off his lights, and he was just milling around the open door. And I really feel like he wanted to come out, but I don't let him come out and freely roam if I can't watch him, because he bothers the other snakes, like Boreth here, who minds his own business. And TC will come out of his enclosure, and I don't care where Boreth is or where Sunspear is. Those are two of my Morelia Bredli that get to free roam. He will go and he will bother those snakes. And so that's why I don't let him free roam anymore unless I am specifically watching him. And if I can't watch him, it isn't that I make him go back to his enclosure. I put him in an exercise tent or an exercise space or a room. Sometimes it's even a whole room where he is contained, but he can't get out. And I just don't think he likes his freedom being taken away like that. So now we're going to jump back in time, and we're going to take a look at Ryder actually like hanging down in his mist, which TC does not seem to like this mist, but Ryder does. I walked into the room to check on Ryder, and he was hanging down out of his tree right in the middle of the mist from the room humidifier that I have set up next to his enclosure. Now, I don't turn this on every day, and I don't always have it in that spot, but he seemed to enjoy it. Now, this is yet another day, target training session and feeding session for Ryder. And I don't really know what happened there. He oriented super well to the target. I went to deliver reinforcement, and he just totally missed the rat. And then he struck at the target, and I just patiently waited for him to calmly look at it and tongue flick at it before I gave him the rat again. And this time he didn't miss. Now we're flashing back to April 11th, and TC was helping me demonstrate something because I offered someone free behavior advice on Facebook, which I should have known better than to do that. And someone very snidely, very sarcastically in the comments said, when is the last time I saw a snake climb out onto anyone's hand and arm? The last time their hand was in front of their snake, they got bit. So I immediately proceeded to go into the room where TC's enclosure is and open the door and film this video. And then I went back to my office and I uploaded this video to the Facebook comments, and that was my answer to that very sarcastic question.
More time travel. Are you ready? We're going even further back in time. So I see TC's at his door. He's been MIA for a couple of weeks because he's been in blue. And he's going in his sky hide right now. Looks like I'm checking to see if he shed completely, because he's had poor sheds in the past. But I do not feel any shed on him. So I'm going to briefly turn on his lights, even though it's dark. Since he's awake, it shouldn't bother him. And I'm going to see if he shed completely. And it looks like he did, which would make me very happy. is this humid hide. So he's got a few pieces in here. Well, so this is one big piece. It's still moist, so he must have just literally shed. So this is most of it. And then he has a few pieces in here. It looks like they came off separate. And I'll check him out completely when he comes out of there. But it looks like he got it all off himself, and for the most part, it's all in one piece. So that's good news.
TC actually looked really beautiful and just great after he shed, and he wasn't the only one that shed around the 8th. Ryder also shed on the 8th or within the 24 hours of the 8th, because I found him in his humid hide, and I also found a complete shed from him, and I think having the room humidifier is really helping him a lot. So TC does use the exercise pen that you are going to see in a future episode of Serpente Sunday. Here he is coming out of it and traveling over to an activity stand, which he's very familiar with. So thanks for spending time with us again this week and catching up with TC and Ryder. Until next time, everybody please remember to always be kind and love your animals.